Okay, looks like it's still continuing, the nonsense. And one of my guys posted a comment, I guess, on Mr. Locario's channel, and Mr. Locario is responding to the guy's comment. But the guy from my site said, Mr. Locario, you do not understand that most guys who come to this community are squares. They have poor communication skills and people skills. Many of them are below average in looks. And I say many of them are average and maybe slightly below, but average is about the norm here. Guys like that cannot just run up on any chick they like. And they actually can, but they don't get a good response. Okay, that's the problem. The ones who are below average, they definitely don't get a good response. There's a video of this big fat guy on the YouTube. You guys have seen him. And he's run up on Asian chicks. And to this day, he still has not gotten a girl. He's this big, tall, fat dude. And everybody in the community knows about the dude. I even did a show on him. He whined, got the video flagged, like a little bitch. But anyway, the fellow on my channel, or my site, writes, this is how you end up like this Kevin dude. You must understand your market. The guys who will be successful with your type of game will mostly, he says mostly, doesn't say all, but mostly likely be good looking and or good communicators. Squares will not. Cater the game to help those guys. And I don't see the problem in that. See, what I don't think Mr. Locario's understanding is who are coming to the internet. Who ends up on the internet looking for answers? Think about that, fellas. Who comes to the internet looking for answers? Guys without a game don't come to the internet looking for answers. Okay? They're too busy having fun, fucking lots of women. All right? There are a very small minority of dudes who are actually good in the game and come to the internet to try to improve their game. They look around, they're in their searches, they come across stuff. Okay? And then they just follow trails, and suddenly they find themselves listening to a guru that improves their game. That's a small minority. Very, very small minority of people. Like the majority of people on my channel, and also the majority of people who are spending thousands and thousands of dollars for these pickup artist boot camps, are not the people who are good with women. Let's not get that twisted. We got to understand who is in the market, who is buying the products, who is listening to the shows. And I think Mr. Locario here is missing that important thing. He thinks everybody, like I did at one time. At one time, I thought everybody was like me. I've stated that over and over again when I was on So Suave. I couldn't understand why there's so many damn virgins there. And then I finally saw the post where people post their faces. And what Mr. Locario needs to understand is that these are the nerds from high school. If Mr. Locario could go back to his high school, think of the nerds that were on campus. Or the skinny little average guys that didn't play sports, or didn't have any swag, or didn't have any coolness. These are the geeks that we called them back then. That are coming to them. Not everybody, but the majority of them classify close to that category. And if you know anything about smart people, they do have poor communication skills. That is a known fact. That is a known fact. That's not even worth discussing. Everyone knows that nerds have poor communication skills. Even nerds themselves. My admin on my site stated the same thing. That's one thing that smart people have is poor communication skills. Okay, I only have to look at my older brother as one example of a guy with poor communication skills. Everyone knows that. And I don't understand why Mr. Locario does not get that. Let me go on ahead and play a portion of this and see if we can get some answers here. Let's see, it's not playing. Oh, wait, here we go.
Yo, what up, people? What's poppin'? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So, I wanted to drop this audio. Because the other day I did this video and I was responding to a comment Player Supreme said about me. But this video is not about Player Supreme. This is...
And I do apologize, Mr. Locario. I wasn't actually making a comment about him, but I was making a comment about the kid knowing about the internet community, the pickup artists. Because if my rationalization was, if he knows about Mr. Locario, and I said people come to the internet, they search around, they find the guru that vibes whose conversation vibes with them. So obviously this kid does know about the pickup arts industry. Also, we know that there's large minority of Asian males in this community also. Okay. Well, let me try that again. And this happens sometimes where the sound does not go all the way. So let me go over to YouTube and see if I can make it play over here.
Yo, what up, people? What's poppin'? It's your boy, Mr.Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So, I wanted to drop this video's audio. Because the other day I did this video and I was responding to a comment Player Supreme said about me. But this video is not about Player Supreme. This is more about the mentality of men who are trying to understand the whole game when it comes to getting women. Alright, so I put up this video where I was responding to Player Supreme, and then this guy, he makes a comment and he says, Mr. Locario, you do not understand that most of the guys who come to this community are squares. They have poor communication skills and people skills. Many of them are below average in looks. Guys like that cannot just run up to any chick they like. This is how you end up like this Kevin dude. You must understand your market. The guys who will be successful with your type of game will most likely be good looking and or good communicators. Squares will not. Cater the game to help those guys. Alright. So, this is what I wanted to say about that.
Before again, I understand how Mr. Locario feels. It feels like a student's trying to tell him what to do. And it gets on your ego a bit. Because I've had students do that to me too. And I know where he's coming from. He's got to defend his what he's doing, all that kind of stuff. Uh-oh.
Yo, what up, people?
Let's see if we can...
Because a lot of the dudes that I've personally met, dudes that I've seen, dudes that I've been around, who are not good with women, right, have great communication skills when it comes to everything else. I see them talking to other people. I see them...
And that is a truth. These guys can talk to their boyfriends. When I was shy, I could talk to my guy friends all day. But when it came to talking to a girl, I fell apart. You guys remember that back in high school? You could talk to your buddies. Like you guys are the young ones. You talk to your gamer buddies all day. But when it came to talking to girls, you didn't know what to say. Okay? That's what I think Mr. Locario is missing here, though. Ah, crap. I believe it's because of my recording equipment. Okay, let me try that again. Let's go here.
Or good communicators. Squares will not. Cater the game to help those guys. Alright. So, this is what I wanted to say about that. So, first of all, you say that most of the guys that are in this community that's trying to, I guess talking about the whole quote unquote pickup community or whatever. And I don't really get into the whole pickup artist stuff, but you know, in the guys that are trying to get women, you understand, or learn how to get women. He's saying they're squares, he's saying they're corny, and they have poor communication skills and poor people skills. Now, a lot of these dudes do not have poor communication skills or poor people skills, because a lot of the dudes that I've personally met, dudes that I've seen, dudes that I've been around, who are not good with women, right, have great communication skills when it comes to everything else.
Exactly,
I see them
everything
talking
else.
to other people. I see them talking to their friends. I see them, you know, even in my school, there's a lot of guys who I know personally that I see who don't really have the confidence to go up and talk to girls, but they're chilling with their friends, they're talking to this person and that person. You understand? So it's not about them having poor communication skills. It's about a lot of guys, right, who are not good with women, or who don't get a lot of girls, or who get nervous around women or whatever. They have it in their mind that there is something like there's this thing that they have to do, or this thing that's missing that they have to get in order to get women. And the thing that's missing in their mind is something that they feel that they cannot grasp. So a lot of guys, for example, and like you said in this comment, you said many of them are below average in looks. Guys like that cannot, and you wrote cannot in capital letters, just run up to any chick like that. See, a lot of the guys who you are claiming have poor communication skills and people skills, they are thinking the same thing that you just wrote. And I'm assuming that you think that too. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. What he doesn't understand is that this is actually based on facts. Not just because some guy thinks it. Okay. It's based on facts. If you look at the community, you'll see this common trend over and over and over and over again. All right. You guys make sure you get that in your minds as a complete truth. Just because, he thinks this guy's saying it, that he's the only one who thinks that, and he probably is going to say that because you think it, you make it true. And unfortunately, as I explained before, people who are the smart people or the kind of campus geeks, they lack social skills, and it's a common trend. It's a common problem out there because they don't get any interactions with women growing up. They don't get any interactions with dates in high school. If you look at the market, many of these fellows have never had a date before or did not go on dates in high school. While the jocks or the outgoing people were socialize themselves, these guys got in little nerd groups and communicate with each other. Okay? Now, you look at these same people, they can't go up and talk to a jock dude on campus. They can't go up and talk to people they don't know. And this has been a known fact of this type of personality over and over again. And people like that end up doing bad things. Go back to the Virginia Tech guy. He was a lonely nerd. Couldn't get a girlfriend. He finally got angry and shot up the entire campus. So I understand Mr. Locario is new to the community and that there does need to be some growth in his area of expertise. He needs to learn to understand the market, to understand this is known facts. There's no debate here. It's a known fact. Let's continue here, though. I'm not sure where he's going with this because this is my first time trying to listen to it. Well, I started it and I said, I better record this. Let's try it again. Oops. I can't hear it.
In order to get women. And I'm assuming that you think that too. Do you understand what I'm saying? So thinking that is what's going to, make you feel like that you can't run up on a chick like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, your thoughts become your actions. And the thing that I feel that's fucked up about this whole PUA community, or guys trying to get with women or trying to understand how to deal with women and communicate with women, is that most of you guys are not working on your mindset. You're working on trying to learn a technique. You're working on trying to look for signs and all of this shit. You're so all up in your head that you don't really, you're not really in the moment. You're not there.
Okay, I can agree with his statement on in the moment. And I also like what he said, that's that psycho stuff, the psychology stuff, which is actually true. Except he doesn't understand the people he's dealing with. Okay, let's continue again.
Learn a technique. You're working on trying to look for signs and all of this shit.
Okay, I think he thinks this guy is a pickup artist, and he's not. He's actually one of my members on my forum, and we're not pickup artists, but we do look for which the nerds are actually doing now in the pickup artist community, as I tried to get them to do many, many years ago, which was look for that base sign of interest. I don't believe in stacking evidence and trying to see if she twirls her hair or some nonsense like that. Just look for some simple eye contact. Go over there and scout her out, see if she returns eye contact, step over, just to save time. Okay? To save time. Now, Mr. Locario style is to run up and just try to find out to every girl that looks smoking hot to you. What he doesn't understand is that women, actually he does understand it because he stated that fact, that women do the choosing. Now, if women do the choosing, pause for a minute there. If women do the choosing, how about you back engineer the game from that like I've done? Back engineer it. If women do the choosing, well, what do they like in men? What qualities are they looking for? Why did I get those qualities? Why did I hit the gym? What I learned to be a good communicator, which is actually missing from most of the men out there in the world, as women have attested to year after year after year. That's why they have books like Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, because the two cannot communicate with each other. So how about you back engineer what women want in bed? How about you back engineer how women look at certain colors on men that matches their eyes? And women are experts at that. So you learn how to package yourself. Back engineer it until you get to the front. That's what everybody in this community is missing. How to back engineer the game so that it works the right way. Shall we continue? Let me go back and then let me go forward. Okay, let me try it again. Let's go back.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
And
Came with women. And so he says to me, he was like, so, you know, I really need help with women, so I was thinking maybe I could go to the store and buy some nicer clothes so I can look better, and I think that'll...
Okay, let's go back a little bit. I think I missed something.
To get with women or trying to understand how to deal with women and communicate with women is that most of you guys are not working on your mindset. You're working on trying to learn a technique. You're working on trying to look for signs and all of this shit. You're so all up in your head that you don't really, you're not really in the moment. You're not there. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I remember one time I had this guy who wanted help talking to women and approaching women and communicating with women. And so he says to me, he was like, so, you know, I really need help with women, so I was thinking maybe I could go to the store and buy some nicer clothes so I can look better, and I think that'll, like, make me get more women. You know?
That won't make him get more women. It will improve his odds. Okay? Dressing well is one of the best things you can actually do for yourself. And I hope that he supports that. Okay? It will not make women come running to you and throw themselves on the ground and spread their legs for you, but it increases their noticing of you, which is what you want. Now, I am hoping that Mr. Locario understands that basic thing there about women. Let's go back, and then let's go forward. Okay, let me try it again. I guess
thinks that the most important thing for him right now to do is to look, quote unquote, look good or look better, and that's what's going to make women be into him or want him. Do you understand?
True, yeah.
But his mind state, what he's thinking in his mind, he has so much still that insecurity within himself. He still doesn't think he's good enough to get women. So no matter what type of clothes he buys or how fresh his haircut is and how good he's smelling, he's not going to be successful at picking up girls. He's not, because his mind is still clouded with insecurity and doubt. And this is what I'm trying.
Okay, now Mr. Locario is talking about good stuff here. He's just a little bit off. He needs to back engineer. If Mr. Locario back engineers dating, he's going to be a damn good teacher out there. Okay, he's talking about mindset, which is very important in the game, as we all know. You guys who are with me, you know that's important. We study it. We improve that. We take our confidence course. We build our confidence. We do all the stuff that we need to improve our self-esteem. Okay? and that is a very, very powerful tool in the game. But again, we need to back engineer from females, okay? Not from a male perspective, because it's women that we're trying to get with, all right? Every dude out there in the world has a different idea of how to get women. We need to actually learn what they want and back engineer so you can become superior in your game. Let's go on.
Wearing a doctor's uniform. What do you want? Do you understand? The doctor understands shit. His mind state is at a certain level, so he understands what to do in a situation. He has that mind state of a person who understand what it means to be this type of person to get these things done. You understand? The other guy who's just wearing a coat, thinking, oh well, if I have this look, or if I look this way, then it's gonna be a good thing. And this is what happens, where a lot of you guys are like, well, if I looked better, or if a guy's good looking, then he's gonna just get chicks. Let me tell you something, man. I don't wanna toot my own horn or something like that, or whatever. But I'm a pretty good looking guy, okay? I'm a pretty fucking good looking guy. I used to model for Polo jeans. I used to model for I did a couple of modeling things for some Italian magazines and shit overseas. Do you understand? And I've had women check me out, look at me or whatever. And, I thought that that's all I needed. I was like, yeah, girls is looking at me, checking me out, whatever. And I probably had one girl here that I walked up to and I hollered at because they was checking me out. But 95% of the time, it didn't matter that I was good looking. Do you understand? Because if I'm talking to the chick, you still run into chicks who front. You still run into chicks who's on some bullshit. Run into chicks who, you're going to be trying to do shit with them. And they're like, no, I can't do this. I have a boyfriend. I can't do that. And no, all this bullshit. So,
okay, that has nothing to do with the game or the argument that's on the table. Okay, I didn't know that he used to also model. It's good to see our darker skinned African Americans, get modeling contracts, because for a while there, because of that Beckford, he has the Nubian look, the eyes and the dark skin and the muscles and all that. Darker skinned brothers were getting a lot of work in modeling stuff. Okay, so it's good that it gave Mr. Locario a lot of confidence in himself. All right, which is perfect. I do know that in the African American community, it would be a different story. It would be a different story, but I believe Mr. Locario must chase after non-African Americans, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. But I think he's going to go on to say that in his experience, being good-looking didn't do nothing for him. And I don't know if he came to the States and tried to hunt in the African-American community, because he does understand that, in our community, we kind of worship the lighter-skinned brothers. Now, you guys have seen in the African-American community, you guys who are black, these light-skinned dudes, snapping all the pussy. Because they're good. The mixed brothers are they consider them better looking. Okay, this is like a programming that we have in our race that we need to really actually get rid of. Okay, that whole white supremacy thing, the closer you are to white, needs to really go. But that's not the issue here. Okay, I've been to the clubs for over 20 years, and I've seen always the good-looking guys with confidence score women. Okay. I have actually never, to my memory, seen a good-looking guy with no game that could not score chicks. I've talked about the guy who, like Mr. Locario, was a model. This guy was in that one movie that the Fresh Prince dude did about where he became successful. All right, he got picked up by the agency, and he was in that. He was actually in that movie. Every time I went out with him, girls just swooned. And we're throwing eye contact left and right. I stopped going out with the dude. He always wanted to hang out with me I don't know why. Actually, he always wanted to hang out with me, called me all the time. Because he wasn't good for my game. Okay, I actually went to bars with this guy. He didn't go to necessarily nightclubs that often. And chicks were all up on his jock. It was just so easy for him. And I think there was something going on underneath. Because he was like a young Robert Redford type. He just had it. Women loved him. They said he was just drop dead gorgeous. And I'm like, fuck you. It was just my own jealousy. Anyway, he got approached all the time too. Good looking guys get approached. Now there's a guy that's good looking from the Pimps Network. All right. And he wrote a book called Space Age Pimping. He goes by the screen name of Paradise. And he talks about how good looking he is. And he waits for women to approach him. He's so successful at it, he wrote a book about it. I don't know where Mr.Locario was. Well, he wasn't even on the internet back when this was going on. But if you go to, Amazon in the UK, look for his book called Space Age Pimping. Now, to me, it was more, he did the pretty boy game. And I tore that shit apart. It doesn't work for the people that come to the internet. Because he was not aware of what people looked like. I saw the market's faces. Okay, fellas? Get that through your heads. I saw the market's faces of who's actually listening, who's actually going to the sites, who's actually listening to my shows. Okay? So let's continue here anyway.
So, like when you guys are saying, many of them are below average in looks, it's y'all, it's like you guys are you're on the wrong track when you talk about that stuff like that. Now, in the comment you said,
I got to stop again. I don't think I'm gonna make it through this whole thing. I'm gonna do a couple more comments and then I'm just gonna call it a day. Let me quote. There was a fellow named Joey on my forum. Joey's talking to this hot chick on Facebook. You guys heard this one before. And the girl made this post on Facebook about this. Well, this young fella came up to her and said, "Ma'am, you're very beautiful," or something like that. To the fact that, she was drop dead gorgeous. And she looked at him and ran to another aisle in the clothing store and then wrote out, "Ew, ew, ew, a creepy nerd tried to talk to me." If Mr.Locario could just go to So Suave and spend some time on So Suave, researching just the subject of flakes, and just read some of the posts, just type in rejection, and read some of the comments to open up his heart so he gets an understanding of where the market is coming from. Okay? Now, I'm going to go through and listen to a few more comments, and I think we can call this a day, because I believe this is mostly him commenting on the stuff, and I like this stuff of, you got to believe in yourself, all that stuff. That stuff I preach. Okay? But I believe in reality, too. We can fill a guy up with all the stuff in the world, but if we haven't changed the entire package, he's still going to struggle in the game. That's the way it is. You want to look good? Okay, you want to look good. And I'm sure when Mr.Locario goes out, he dresses his best. He could not have been a model and not learned to dress his best. So he should understand how clothes, if he worked in the clothing industry, how clothes do turn heads. But I believe he's just trying to defend his point of view. And I think what he should do actually is not defend it, but do some research, because it might make him a better instructor. Okay, to find out some real truths out there. Who's listening to the shows? Who's in the market? Now, he attracts mostly African Americans. Okay, most brothers out there do have a little bit of game about them. That's many. But many of the ones that end up on the internet don't have that extra, whatever it is that the other brothers out there have. Okay? I actually know what it is, but they don't have that extra quality. That's why they're on the internet. But they have witnessed, their cousins getting pussy like crazy, their friends getting pussy like crazy. All right. Now, especially in the African American community, if you're unattractive, sisters, you got a hard time with black women. You guys who are black know that to be the truth. You know that sisters are skin color conscious and hair conscious. Not saying all, but many. We all know that to be a known fucking fact in the black community. All right. The difference is that white women don't know how to judge black standards. Where it's easier for, like in our community, if you're dark, really dark, the blue-black, you're going to have a hard time getting a woman to have babies with you because she knows her kids are going to come out very dark-skinned. And that's been programmed into our race not to have dark-skinned kids, okay, through white supremacy agenda. So, but white women have no idea of this, skin tone thing. That's where I've seen a lot of our dark-skinned brothers getting, some white women. Because white women don't know a damn thing about that stuff that's going on in our community. And I've even talked to white women that did not like mulattoes. Okay? It was too close to their own race. They wanted black dudes. So, I don't know if that's Mr. Locario's success in his life. He found the women that when they wanted black, they wanted black. They wanted a real black brother. Okay? With no, I don't know if what's in his gene pool, but one who looks like he'd no ad mixed. Not one that doesn't look like he's mixed. Okay? And I've found that to be a known truth in the dating community for African Americans. Like the white women that want Asian males, they want Asian males. They have no, they really can't, judge by standards of beauty like the Asian race would. Okay? They have a different standard of beauty. Black is black. If you're past super yellow close to them, then you're black, according to them. I have seen white women dating, light-skinned dudes too. There's light-skinned dudes that may have features they like and all that kind of stuff. It's not all. I'm not saying everything is all-encompassing, but that's just the way it is out there. We have to study what really works in real life. Theory does not work in real life. I had to change what I was talking about when I saw the faces on So Suave. Like Mr. Locario, I said, build your confidence up. Just go up and talk to chicks. And you guys recall me saying that. What's so goddamn hard about saying fucking hello? Remember that, fellas? How fucking hard is it to go up to a chick and just say hello? After I saw the faces on So Suave, and I started studying the market, and I really did study the market. Every site that had post your photo, I went and looked. Okay? And I realized, okay, and I began to understand. I began to understand what the people were like. I actually began to read their posts and read the way they wrote. The style of writing they had even gave me tons of clues about who this person is. And I realized these are those different kind of people out there. No wonder why they cannot communicate with women. No wonder why women aren't feeling them. No wonder why they're having so much trouble meeting women. So my goal was to as you guys heard me say before, normalize. Bring you down to the normal bandwidth. So you can get up into the game. The best place to start is within your own bandwidth. Just like the best place for the average black dude is to start within his own community. But if he has a taste for white flesh, go to a club where white women go that want black men. I did it the hard-headed way. I went to clubs where they didn't want brothers. As I've talked about, I've had white women pulled away from me and scolded for dancing with a black man, not 2 feet from me. Okay? We're going back to the late 80s. Just that short time ago. So, let's listen to one more little bit, and then I think I'm done here. I'm kind of done with the argument. I don't want to go into a battle with anybody on the internet. I can respect what Mr. Locario is doing. I would like to help him become a better instructor, learn what I have learned about life and in the game. I want to pass that on to make him better.
This is why you shouldn't approach a girl who's not looking at you, because if you do, they're gonna call the cops on you and blah 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 blah. And I'm gonna.
Okay, that's not true. That happened in one guy's situation. I think he's blowing that out of proportion to support his argument. Okay, as you guys know, I did debate in college. I won my debates, so I know when people are doing smokescreen stuff. All right, and that's a smokescreen on Mr. Locario's part. Bad, 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 brother. Not good. All right, you shouldn't blow that out of place like that. Kevin is one example. The other examples are these guys get rejection after rejection after rejection. Kevin was getting rejected the entire time to the point where the women banded together and went to the cops because it was on campus. Campus does have a certain society to it, as one brother has written to me about. Okay? And as you guys remember, I stopped going to college when 9/11 happened. Okay? When 9/11 happened. I was still going to college up until then. In fact, the last class I did take was a debate class during that last semester there. Now, 9/11 was that 12 years ago, something like that. But think about it. I was an adult. I enjoyed going to college. I enjoyed learning. So I was still going. Now, so I'm not no stranger to college community. Plus, I looked way younger than I should have been. When I was 42, I looked like I was 29. Okay? So I fit in. And none of the girls knew that I was really an older male. Now, let's go on here. Let's go forward just a little bit more.
This is why you shouldn't approach a girl who's not looking at you, because if you do, they're gonna call the cops on you and blah 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 blah. And I'm gonna talk about that in a second too. But now this Kevin dude who you're talking about, right? If you listen back to this Blog Talk Radio show, he also said, which you guys weren't listening to because you didn't hear that. All you heard was the video where he was talking about this incident. But he also said that he talked to and approached, I think it was like 20 other women, and he exchanged numbers with, I think, about 12 or 13 of those girls. You understand that? So just because Kevin...
Okay, let me stop here. Now we get to some real game. And this is where it becomes a numbers thing. Now, Kevin needs to step forward and say, how many has he actually laid? Okay? Numbers, for some reason, numbers mean like the world to people in the pickup artists community. And I guess to Mr.Locario also. Those of you guys who have been in the game for any length of time, you know that women trying to be nice will give them fake numbers or give the real number but never pick up. That's where I suggest Mr.Locario go to So Suave and search under flakes. You'll see all the posts, and these are posts. And each post has pages and pages and pages. Ungodly amount of pages. Under just the search phrase, I want everyone to do this. Go to So Suave and search under flakes. And these are guys that got phone numbers. Pages and pages and pages and pages. Okay? Some girls are nice. They'll give out the number. Some girls are nice. Some girls act like a bitch about it. Some girls, like these girls that call the cops on them, this group of women that call the cops on them, are scary bitches. They don't make the whole, but in this day and society, you got to be careful out there for African American males. Okay? You got to be careful. And it's never changed, actually. I know of one brother in high school. He was an amazing athlete. This brother came from a genetically blessed family. Dark-skinned brother. Tall, muscular, big legs. Ran like the wind for a big brother. Had a football scholarship to Reno. He went to a party and hooked up with a white chick. The next day, she said it was rape. He lost everything. This brother would have been he would have been pro. That's how good he was. And I'm not going to put his name out there, but he would have been fucking pro. All because of this one white chick that felt kind of guilty afterwards. And I talked to the brother about it. He didn't know that shit was going to happen like that. They were at a party, they met, they hooked up. Next day she felt guilty, I guess. Boom. Okay? I'm not saying that this because we're black, we got to be afraid of white women, because, you know, as I said, I've been with over 120 of them. But I think for this Kevin's sake, I think he needs to change his game up so this does not happen. And that's my point. Change it up so it does not happen like that again. That's a poor way to go out. To risk your entire life like that. Because if he gets, if they can get together, okay, they'll take white women's word over black men. Every black man on this planet knows that to be the truth. Every black man on this planet knows that if a group of white women say something, they're going to believe the white woman. Okay? Just like if you're in a domestic violence situation, if it's a white woman, they would just practically take your ass to jail. All she got to do is say, he hit me. No evidence of it. All she got to do is say it. That's with any women anyway. A man shouldn't be touching a woman to begin with, but all she has to do is say that just to fuck with you. Okay? They don't play. You know, the racial shit is still there in the majority of these Caucasian male cops. Think about it. You're fucking their women. You think they'll give you some sympathy? Say, it's all right, dog, I understand. No. You're fucking their women. Do you get that into your heads? You're fucking their women. It's not like you're fucking another sister. It's their women. Remember, they control the world. All right? That's why they're so upset that Obama's in office, because a black man is over them. That's why so many of them are having so many problems and issues. When you learn how the world works, then you'll learn what I'm talking about. Now, I think I'm done here. This is just small talk to me. It's just Mr. Locario defending his point of view. I have no other words to say on it. It's just not worth my time to go even deeper into. I think you guys get the point, though. I believe you guys do get the point. Mr. Locario himself, he has admitted about women doing the choosing, and that's all we need to talk about. If he understands that, then what else is talking about? That's just the argument done right there. There is no argument. Because he said himself, women do the choosing. That's it right there. Okay, so his way is just a different route, and I've talked about that before. His route is the same as the pickup artist route. Only he's trying to get guys to have confidence. I can now say that I don't think he uses canned lines, canned openers. I'm glad for that. I can respect him for that. Okay, he's about building guys' confidence up and getting them out there to run and approach all these girls. I'm about the business approach to it. I'm about the guys rising up their lives, living like kings. Okay, about keeping the power. So we're at two different levels of the game. All right, I consider that low-level game myself. You spin your wheels on all these different women. Eventually, you're gonna get a hot one. However long it takes. But I'd rather sit there in the land of pussy, get my dick sucked. Okay? That's the way it is. I'd rather have, my woman doing for me versus her spinning me out on a bunch of dates. I don't know how Mr. Locario runs his game, if he dates women. Okay? As you guys know, I didn't date. Women came over, we had sex, she made me food or bought me food, off she went. That's just it. In the beginning of my game, women took me out, but I had a leg up. Like Mr. Locario was a model. I taught fitness classes, so I had a leg up. I admit I had a leg up there. The girls wanted to go out with me. I was their dance teacher and shit like that. Okay, you want to go out with me? Take care of me. But when I got into the game outside of that, the real game, because I got tired of fucking clients and students, I had to learn it all over again. And I came right back. Just like if you take away, who's that asshole I can't stand, Donald Trump, Mr. Comeover. He has lost $1 million, and he's gained it right back. Okay? He's lost millions and millions of dollars, or if not $1 billion, just about. He's gained it all right back. Just like with me, I had that power once. I gained that power right back again in the game. In fact, I went even further in the game, as you guys know. So we have two different paths to take. You could do the low-level energy spinning game, or you can do the high-level game. Now, the low-level game, you only run after the chicks you like, which are hot chicks, more than likely hot chicks. And you get all the rejection, but eventually you might be able to get one. Now, this is Kevin. We don't know how many he's laid. Okay? And he's a young kid. If you ask him, oh, I fucked about 100 of them. Okay? So I'm not saying he was lying and stuff like that, but I know how young folks are. Plus, someone who's gotten the cops called on him, he ain't fucking that. He ain't fucking. Obviously, he ain't fucking because that's why he's so desperate, trying to go out there and get all these numbers. As we know from The Punisher, a goddamn number don't mean a goddamn thing. As we've seen what the fella on the forum called The Punisher gets. And he still does that low-level game. Okay? He does exactly what Mr.Locario's talking about and the pickup artists are doing. Okay? We're seeing the results of what he gets. And the up and down, up and down, up and down. I think I'm going to retire. I got this girl out in D.C. that really likes me. We've seen that whole up and down, in and out shit that's going on. Wishy-washy. Not solid, good game. All the fellas on my forum who have rose up in the game, let me talk about, he goes by the name of Wordsmith now. Okay? He had no pussy. He just had a woman, he started with no pussy. Okay? He just had a woman fly him to, he lives in Chicago, and this woman paid for the entire trip for him to go to Sedona, Arizona. My favorite place on the face of the earth. Alright? And he's a white dude. Let's talk about one of my older players. I call him my lost son, DJ Dan. Okay? DJ Dan got a fine-ass MILF, and she flew him all over the world. He went to Italy. He came out, I met him in California. He lived like a king, and now he got rid of her, and he's dating all these hot young chicks. Plus, he was cheating on her. Okay? So, I can go on and on with the men who have had success on my forum. I'm just talking about the major guys. I can go into my minor guys who have gotten their first starter hose. One guy posted, you got to be careful of the starter hose because you don't want to fall in love with her. He learned a life lesson there. She's there for a purpose to get you started in your game. Now, what these people don't understand is, like it says in the Bible, he who has shall be given more. He who has not, all shall be taken from him. Right? So when you get in the game, you got pussy. That builds your confidence. When you get in the game with a starter hoe, you learn to actually feel comfortable around women. That builds your vibe so women know this guy ain't no weird, creepy dude. Okay, when you get in the game with a starter hoe, you build your sexual prowess. Women can smell that on you. They can feel it on you. It just makes you an overall better player of the game to get a starter hoe, fellas. It really does. To get your feet, get your dick wet. Every seasoned player in this game knows that. If you look at pimps, they say don't get rid of a hoe that's still got trick in her. Okay? Pimps know the laws of attraction. It's amazing. But we need to upgrade the other people in this community on the laws out there. Laws of the universe. And make them work for you like Neo did in the Matrix. He bent the Matrix. Okay? Once you understand how it works, then you can learn to back engineer and bend the Matrix, make it work for you. You understand that, okay, I have no women. I'm a virgin. I need to get me a starter so I can practice, so I can raise my energy up and start working on myself and get that body in perfection, my mind in perfection. Start going for my purpose, my passion life, so that I do rise my vibrational level up, so I can attract the hotter babes. But it starts with women do the choosing, as Mr.Locario has admitted himself. Once you understand that concept and really get into your head, then you realize, okay, if women do the choosing, damn. How can I get them to choose me when I run up on their faces? So that in itself, it defeats everything Mr. Locario said before about the guy that was, dressing better. That's one of the things that will improve it. Why say that when that will improve your game when you run up in women's faces? That makes you a better hoe chaser. Put on a good fly set of clothes and start stepping to women with a stick of gum in your mouth. Okay? If women do the choosing, how about give them something to choose? If you're going to even hoe chase, give them something to choose. Work on your body. Work on your energy, your confidence, your dress. You guys have seen the Macs out there? The movies about the Macs, they all dress well? Pimps understand that to get a woman's eye, you got to dress well. Now, society has been sold that whole bill of goods of, the guy with the fish and the platform shoes stuff of pimps. No, you look at the real pimps, they wore like Armani suits. Nice suits. Now, there's been a new group of pimps coming out, wearing jogging suits and, no good hair on them and stuff like that. That's that new shit. I'm talking about the real niggas with the real scheme of language. Real motherfuckers with the real game. The originals. They didn't dress like buffoons. I know we see that guy in the green. Green is for the money and all that shit. No. He's like a small percentage of them out there. So they understand that you got to catch a woman's eye through dress. Okay? They understand that you got to be a good conversationalist with women. All right? Now, this is coming straight from the pimps. The 4 C's. This will get you in there. The first C, your car. Second C, your convo. Third C, your crib. And we'll save the other one for another time. Think about it. They're saying you got to have a nice car. You got to have a nice crib. Actually, I'll give you the other one. Nice convo. And here it is right here. Your clothes. Your clothes. That is straight from the pimps at the top. How to pull ass. Okay? I'm going to say it again. Your car, your crib, your convo, your clothes. All right? Now, you guys aren't trying to become pimps. But these are vital things that you want to have on your side to level the playing field. You got a nice car. And I talked about in the Latin community, you guys who are Mexican, you've seen it. Big fat Mexican dudes with nice cars, but they got these smoking hot chicks. The types with the hot dogs in the back of the head. You've seen those guys. I'm like, what the fuck? It ain't, and the guys ain't no game. They're little simps doing everything for the girl, but they're good providers. They got a job. Okay? That's one example of a car right there. You've seen the flashy dressers catching women's eyes when they walk into a club. That's if you've been to clubs. I've been to clubs over 20 years. I've seen this over and over again. I've talked about the guy that I called stripper boy that was going to the club that I retired out of. Okay? I talked about how a Mac got to him. Now, this club attracted pimps and attracted Macs. It was an older crowd. But this Mac got to the guy that he used to hate my guts when he first showed up. But then I cornered him in the bathroom and said, what's up? And we became friends after that. All right? He used to wear a blue button-down, like jean button-down shirt and take his shirt off and, do his stripper act with women. He'd have 2 girls on him, too. Two fine chicks on him. One in the front, one in the back. This Mac got to him and changed the way he presented himself. He put a blazer on. And he started wearing nice shoes. His game blew up through the fucking roof. Through the fucking roof. Okay? Just from putting a fucking blazer over that fucking blue shirt. All right? And wearing some nice shoes. He still took his coat off, took his shirt off, and did his stripper shit, He was skinny as a fuck, too. But he's a good-looking brother. Okay? Girls thought he was just fucking gorgeous. But skinny. You see the type. And he chewed gum. He had the confidence. He had the swag. All right? He knew the chicks were going to be chews up on him. He knew that. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I had conversations with these dudes. I had conversations with the Macs in there. And the one Mac told me, I don't fuck unless I get paid, Chris. And I watched the brother's game. Okay? He was like a hawk. He would raise his head up and make eye contact with the woman, stare at her, see if he can catch her eye. If she returned it favorably, He was gone. Okay? I didn't go to the club for a couple of weeks. I came back, he had a white woman. And she bought him a new ring. That fucking fast. Big fat ring. He came and showed me. Okay? I'm giving you guys a look at the higher level game. Not the scrub game where you're down there, hoe chase like a motherfucker, but from the higher level that I've been to. That's what it's like. These people who reach the higher level, they understand how the game works. And you don't lose your power by letting females choose up on you. You actually gain more power. That's what the people who don't understand women and don't understand the game don't get. They think that you're empowering yourself by running around, spending your energy, hoe chasing. Run up on women. No, you're not. You're actually giving your power away to them because they know that you want them more. So they're going to stretch your ass out on some bunch of dates before they give it up to you. Women can be a cold, snaky son of a bitches when they choose to be. And not even give you the fucking pussy. My girlfriend's roommate, she was Filipino. The tiny Filipino with a great body. I don't care about her face, but she had a great body. White women love them little Filipinos like that. She was like 4'11". But imagine with, a little round butt and boobs. Okay? She used white men like you use toilet paper. When I met Jovina, she had white men taking them out to dinner, taking them to get their nails done, and all this kind of going to gambling and shit. Okay? There are users out there. I think Mr.Locario's getting into that. Game players, stuff like that. But she didn't sit back and choose nobody. They chose her. So they paid. Don't get it twisted. Women don't throw eye contact to men unless they're interested. Understand that to be the truth. The majority of women, in other words, when I say women, understand I don't mean all, but the majority, okay? The majority of women do not give eye contact to men unless they're interested in something. That means you. They may like the way you dress. If they make it in your in your eyes, that's definite interest. That is definite interest right there. Okay? Understand that to be the truth. Understand that to be the truth from the highest levels of the game, from the pimp's game. Now, at the pimp level, if a hoe stares at another pimp, he can take her to what's called pimp court because she made eye contact with him. Every pimp trains his hoe not to look another man in the eyes because pimps understand that basic nature. All right? That's coming from the top of the game down to you guys. Down to Mr.Locario, down to the pickup artists. You cannot deny that pimps have all the power of dating in this game. That's what these motherfuckers are studying. How do these guys get this power over women like that? So, eye contact, again, eye contact says it all. Pimps understand that. If a hoe looks at another pimp on the streets, he can go bust her for all of her money. And call up his pimp and tell him, hey, your bitch was out of pocket. I took her to pimp court. And the pimp asks, okay, well, how much she get? And he'll scold that bitch. He'll teach that bitch not to be return eye contact. But if she's looking at another pimp in the eye, she knows she wants to get with that dude. Okay? That's basic understanding. If a woman's looking you in the eyes continue like that, she wants to get with you. So I'm not talking about some fantasy shit here, fellas. This is the reality of the game. You guys have seen the videos of women talking about eye contact. This is coming straight from the horse's mouth. You've seen me get those videos and put them up on my channel, on the Player Supreme Show, my old channel, about eye contact. Right? Eye contact. You've seen women say that over and over again. Right from the horse's mouth. Not some dudes theorizing that you got to be act like this, be this and be that, and beat your chest and Tarzan the shit. Okay? So if you understand that, you back engineer the game, you understand why eye contact is so goddamn important. Now, many years ago, I had a debate with the School of Dating over this same subject, and I already destroyed this subject years ago. I already won. You guys who are new to my channel, you're not aware of that. If you go to Libsyn, libsyn.com/Player Supreme, you can find all my old podcast shows there, and you'll see that there's the debate in there, unedited. I didn't do the tricks and jangulations like the School of Dating did. You know, I wanted an honest debate because I tried to go over there and talk about some issues with the dude, and he, muted my mic, tried to make me look like an asshole. So I said, let me debate these motherfuckers, and I won. I won, fellas. So there's no debate here about eye contact. Mr. Locario, if you listen to this, there's no debate about eye contact. You and I both know that eye contact is the beginning level of the game. You stated yourself, choosing. Women do the choosing. That's the end of the argument right there. Now, I put up the video of Greg B talking about this guy who had all these women, lined up to go out with him. That's how I lived my life. The exact same thing I was doing. Okay? Finding females that were feeling me. You guys remember me talking about when I was a club dancer in America Live. I reached my senses out, and I could feel the woman who's supposed to be the right one for me right now. And I would attract her to me. Boom. She's up there looking at me. I pull up on the stage. I take her home. Okay? So, I think this settles this entire situation. I'm kind of done with it. It does get me into the whole talking mode, though. That's the only enjoyment part about it. I've been talking for like an hour now. An hour, an hour. Hour and 1 minute. And it's good for me to actually, dig in there and talk about the game, but it's getting a little old dealing with Mr. Locario and stuff like this. Okay, fellas. Peace.